You can find a lot of really interesting 3D printing related projects over on Kickstarter, and I happened to come across one the other day because it was recommended to me from Google, and I wanted to do a video about it, but when I went back to it, I saw that it had been canceled. But it may be back in the future, and I think that they're doing something that's a little bit interesting, and I wanted to get your thoughts about it. So let's see what it is. This right here is the LotMax ET 2-in-1 high-speed 3D printer and laser engraver. So that is the big unique selling point about this printer, is that it's kind of a fairly standard these days FDM printer. It is a bed slinger, but you can take off the print head with about 6 screws and attach a laser engraving attachment on it, and then you also have a laser engraver. Here's a video for it. I'm just going to kind of let that play so you can kind of get a look at it. But as you can see here, they only needed $10,242 to fully fund this project, and they managed to get $62,171 pledged from 106 backers. They had this thing backed within 24 hours. Which is pretty awesome. But take a look at this printer here, and as you can see, like I said, it looks like a pretty standard printer these days. It sort of looks like an Anchormate M5C, but one of the biggest things about it that makes it different than pretty much any other printer out there besides the whole laser part is that they put RGB lights all around it, because RGB life is the great life, right? But what was kind of interesting about this is that when I was looking at it, I see that it looks very sleek. It looks modern. The lights, I think, really is different. It doesn't add anything to the printing, but it still looks kind of cool. It doesn't look like it is some hobbled together piece of machinery. It's like there's some actual thought and some care that actually went into this. But here's just some more of the aesthetics and some of the highlights. 500 millimeter per second printing speed. It has a system so that you can attach a camera to it, either one or two ways. I think you can just put it on the desk, or you can attach it magnetically. You can control it with an app. It has resume power. If you lose power and you need to start printing again, that's not a new feature, but you can do it. It's got some auto bed leveling. This says here the 20-watt laser engraving, but that's just one option. There was also another option there. And multi-connection printing. So when I see projects like this, I immediately get kind of skeptical, especially with the funding goal of under $11,000. I'm wondering, what's going on here? Could this be some type of not so legit project if someone's just trying to get some money and then run off? So you just got to kind of be careful with these things, and you never quite know. But they showed a decent amount of proof here of the printer actually working. They have a few videos here. This first one that I'm not going to click on for obvious reasons, but this lady here actually showed the printer in action, and she printed out a 15-minute Benchy, and it didn't look like they were hiding anything from the printer. It actually worked, and it looked like everything was going pretty well. And then here are some other videos from the company itself, just showing some of the things that this printer could do. Now, they did have a few different tiers that you could back for this printer. If I click on rewards here and take a look at it, so you can see here that it was on a flash sale. These are the Hong Kong prices, but in the United States it would have been $299. And then that would have given you the 3D printer and a toolkit. But see, here's the other thing with this printer, and this is kind of what I wanted to get a little bit of thoughts about, is even though it can be used as a laser engraver, it's not standard with the printer, and you think that it would be, because you can see here, if you want the optional HD camera, it would have been another $39. If you wanted the 10-watt laser kit, it's an additional $139. If you want the multicolor print system, which is kind of cool, kind of like the Bamboo Labs AMS type thing, $249. Laser enclosure was $300, and if you wanted the 20-watt laser kit, it would be an additional $300. So if you wanted the most powerful laser, then this whole thing would have ended up costing you about $600 right out of the gate. So what in the world even happened to this project? Why was it canceled? Well, I went over to the comments and I saw that people who had backed it said that they had gotten a message from the creators And basically, as they say here, they had an issue that may take some time to resolve, and they canceled the Kickstarter for the time being instead of leaving us all in limbo. And apparently there was going to be a delay of about 6 months, and so they canceled the project. So I guess if there was any kind of hesitancy about whether this was a legit project and not just something that someone was wanting to cash in on and just make off with the money, then the fact that they decided to voluntarily cancel the Kickstarter, which means that anyone who pledged, their money won't actually be lost. They'll be able to get that money back, as opposed to if it were actually funded and then that money is just gone and there's no real recourse to getting your money back once the campaign has been successful, because that's when the money is taken out. So I guess that leaves some goodwill in this case, but I did go to their website to kind of see what other printers this company is offering. And it's not the first time that they've tried to do something that was a combination of a 3D printer with a laser engraver. So just taking a look at some of the printers that they have here, and most of these pages don't really tell you too much about what this is. Like, there's no real description here. And this video is just a 360-degree video of the printer itself. It looks like it's got a couple of Bowden tubes, and you can print in a couple different colors of filament if you want. And a lot of other things are sold out. But as I kind of just scrolled down here, I was able to get to this page for learning more in order to see exactly what kind of features this particular printer that was $280 before it got sold out, the LotMax V3 with a 1.6 watt laser, is all about. So this was a multifunctional 3D printer with laser engraving, dual color 3D printing, G sensor and auto leveling, super fast cooling, and S-Lite. And here are some of the other specs here. It was slower than the one that they were that they had up on Kickstarter, with a print speed of under 200 millimeters per second, with a recommended printing speed between 45 millimeters per second and 90 millimeters per second, which these days is pretty slow. We're getting like Ender 3 territory with those kinds of speeds. Max nozzle temperature 260 degrees Celsius. So yeah, you know, the laser engraving attachment, as we can see, like in this picture here, let's see which one. You got the print head right there that you would use for the regular 3D printing, just sort of sits up there. And then down here, you got the laser engraving attachment. And if you can get all that for $280, I think that would have been a really awesome price. It would be a really awesome price, but you can't get it anymore. And it has a touch screen and everything. And then here are some of the reviews here, some good, some not so good, but hey, that's the way that everything works. So this is a company that I have not heard of, but based on everything that I see here, it does seem like it is a legitimate company. But I was just really curious about this particular Kickstarter and what they were offering. But then here's the other thing, kind of the flip side of this. For $299, without the laser engraver, this particular printer to me doesn't really seem to do much more than other printers that you can get right now that have similar specs, that may not have the RGB lights, but they still have a fast printing speed. I look at this and then I think of something like the Elegoo Neptune 4, the Elegoo Neptune 4 Pro that you can get for under $300. And for the regular Neptune 4, like around $260. So it's already cheaper than this. And Elegoo's got a laser engraver of their own as well. And here it is right here, the SATA, I can't pronounce that, laser engraver and cutter for $285. This is the 10 watt version with the air assist set. So that's $285 for a standalone laser engraver. And if you wanted to up it to the 20 watt version, then price goes up quite significantly to $485. But just for the standard one in the very first package, $285, that's how much you're going to have to pay for this one. But I guess if there's an advantage to doing it this way with this Kickstarter, if it were still available and if it comes back in the future, you would pay $300 for the printer and then $139 for the laser attachment. But if you were to buy Elegoo's laser engraver, and then you also bought like a Neptune 4, then you would be spending more money on that combination than you would on this lot here, the Lot Max ET. So yeah, you could save a little bit of money that way, but with Elegoo, you do have a little bit more confidence and peace of mind because they've been around for long enough and a lot of people have had their products. So it's just more reliable in the mind. But this doesn't seem like it would be a bad option. And again, kudos for them for stopping this project so that they can work out whatever problems that they had with the printer. So hopefully it can come back in the future. It'll be more reliable and better than it was before, because all things considered, it's not really a bad deal. So that's it, you guys. I just wanted to share with you this Kickstarter for this laser engraver slash 3D printer because I thought it was pretty interesting. I know that other people have done things like this before, but it's been through modifications. But with something this simple, just taking out a few screws and popping a new head on, it seems to be a lot more convenient way to get that dual purpose in a single machine. And I haven't really seen a whole lot like that before, so that's why I wanted to share it with you. But thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, take care of yourselves. I'll speak to you soon.